I met Hernan through a friend of mine, who was my friend in UCF. Anna and I were both at Valencia College, and then we attended UCF together. So that'll tell you that I'm a Floridian originally, okay? So I met Hernan through Anna in Orlando, all right? And from there, I mean, you've met her, you know Hernan, so you know it's easy to just love his personality, okay? So that was just it. And I've been part of Apprentice since then. So I moved to Texas in 2017. Okay. Hernan, remember when I called you, oh, should I go to Texas or should I stay in Orlando? Okay, because I was working at HG Supply in Orlando, and then I got the offer from TI, and I was conflicted. I wanted to explore. You know, just like you want to explore New York, you want to see the large city. I was raised in Lagos, which is a madhouse, huge city, over 20 million people. So I understand that desire to explore a mega city, right? See what's there, you see what's on TV, you hear of all the cool things happening there, and you want to experience it. It's actually a good thing to want to experience that. However, Andres and I, we, even Hernan, I'm sure, we're coming from experience, points of experience that we've done all that. You know, we don't want to go back to that. We don't want super quiet, right? Because there's something in us that is so used to the life and the hype of sitting of that lifestyle, right? But we don't want to stay in it. We want some peace and some calm as well. So Texas is just the perfect place for that kind of lifestyle, especially if you're in Dallas and DFW generally. So yeah, you can try New York out, but just consider everything Andres told you about the cost of living, if it will really be worth it or not. Because for you to actually live in New York, it's quite expensive. It is. And if you cannot afford to live in New York, then there's no reason to live in New York. You can go visit New York, do holiday there, but there's just no reason to live there if you cannot truly afford it. And affording it isn't spending all your income just paying bills. You should be able to have something for yourself, to pay yourself. So if you cannot pay yourself from your income and everything goes to others, landlord, utility companies, then you should take a more critical look at it. But yeah, that's the analyst in my head. Also, letting you know that, these things are good. Look at the pros, look at the cons. Immediately you want to do something, you may want to go for it, but it's also good to understand to an extent some of the risks. You won't see everything up front. You don't want to wait till you understand all the risks up front, but you should understand some risks up front before you make any decision, especially one that will impact your life.
We're all immigrants, although people don't believe me because I'm Puerto Rican, but we're all immigrants trying to make a living in another country. You want to share a little bit about your experience and from your countries, and I know we share that with Alex. You guys came from your countries and try to excel in the business world with the different. I would say, I wouldn't say prejudices, but it's the truth, right? People have. How do you become successful even though you come from different places? Let's talk about that a little.
So Hernan, and all before that, Julie joined the call as well. Let's give Julie the opportunity to introduce herself. Let's let her talk to us really quick, and then we just pick that back, and all continue, and we just do the cycle again. So Julie, go ahead and introduce yourself, please. We have Alexandra on the call with us. Julie, you gotta unmute yourself.
You're gonna be a pharmaceutical rep.
Oh,
Dr. Julie.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi everybody. Sorry I'm late. I had to get back home and change real quick because my daughter had to have a COVID test. Because one of her friends' mom have symptoms and she was with that friend on Wednesday. So the doctor said to wait a couple of days until today. So we went there and they took the wrong swab and we had to go back there real quick before they closed to take the right swab. So anyway. So hi everybody. How you been doing? Okay.
Good. Go ahead and introduce it really quick. We have Alexandra on the call, Olu and Hernan. What do you do? How you became to be successful in this country as an immigrant? And we just go back to Olu and then I ended up finishing this, okay?
Well, hi everybody. Well, I am Julia Alvira. Let's see. Well, I come from Puerto Rico, like Hernan. So I came here to Texas like in 2000 with my ex-husband because he got a practice opportunity here. We're both physicians, but I don't practice since a long time ago. So he came because of his opportunity to Texas. And I'm still in Texas. I was in Borger with him over there, and then we moved to Dallas area. And I worked with him in the office for like 12 years. I was doing medical aesthetics over there. And then I managed the whole practice because it's a cosmetic gynecologist, like a cosmetic surgeon. And then we got divorced and everything. And I decided that I didn't have a job exactly at that moment because my dad got ill. And so I decided to just spend time with them because I just saw them in 12 years. I saw them once a year. So after my divorce, I just decided to spend time with my family, my parents, my daughter, and travel the world. And then I did an MBA at that moment, also in healthcare management. And with everything after the divorce, I met a life coach at that time that helped me overcome a lot of obstacles that I had on that moment, emotional obstacles. And I decided to like take care of me, do a lot of self-care and help people because people start like talking to me about what is it that you're doing? Like you look really good and stuff. You look really fit and everything. So I decided to start helping people that way, became interested in wellness and health and wellness. And I started to write for magazines. I started to do videos in YouTube. I have a YouTube channel with a bunch of fitness videos. And so my life just kind of turned that way. So I like the fact that I had a medical background, but I also like the fact that I can help people some other way in health and wellness. I mean, more like life coaching, but it's more like I'm turning now into more mental wellness, which is mental wellness is a combination of healthier lifestyle, like doing some kind of physical activity, and then physical activity, proper eating, not exactly restrictive eating, but more like focusing on intuitive eating, which is eat everything you want, but you have to know why are you eating that, because I help people that way with the emotional eating and binge. Because when you do restrictive eating, like diets and everything, you restrict yourself from a lot of things and then you go binging. And then, so on that, in all these years, I have learned a lot of that, of binge, emotional eating and all that. Then I became interested in addictions. because that goes really well with addictions. Because whenever you binge, it's like you're addicted to food. You're using food instead of drugs. So that's the concept that I like. So people come to me because they want to lose weight, right? And they look at me like I'm a personal trainer or something like that, which I'm not. I do the training, but what I do is more help somebody lose weight, but it's more like emotional weight. Because whenever you want to lose weight, you're more like, you're in this cycle of trying diets and going back to putting pounds, trying diets, going back to putting pounds, trying diets, going back to putting pounds. And it's really everything of that. It's a lot of hormones and emotional eating, period. It's that. If you don't know your hormones and you don't know what you're thinking when you want to go for the ice cream or this other stuff, then you're going to put the weights again. So I'm really into more mental wellness, and I was doing just for physician colleagues, but now I am going more into mental wellness. That's my road right now. Right now I'm not doing any coaching. I'm just writing. I write for a lot of different magazines, for Miami, here in Texas. I have written for Behavioral Health News. I'm actually doing some articles right now for very important magazine that I wish I really want them to publish me. It's a very important for everybody knows it. I'm just not gonna say anything, but it's gonna be very important for me as a goal for me, like an achievement for me.
Congratulations.
What?
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're gonna publish. I'm just writing it now, and I'm gonna submit it and see if they're gonna like it and they're gonna publish it. So so that's what I do. I do that, and that's what I do. And I have become successful in really helping people, which I didn't know I was gonna do it a bunch of years ago. So I'm helping people the way that life and situations and everything have helped me.
By the way, that's not the reason why Julie is here. So she was not my coach, my weight coach, although she can be. I met Julie, we went to high school together.
What?
And I was gonna say that I went to high school with you, right? So that's how we met. But your journey has been a beautiful journey of entrepreneurship and struggle and perseverance. The journey. So I'm a fan of all the things that you do, and obviously I support you and appreciate what you do for us.
So I'm also I recently this year became ambassador for the Alzheimer's Association, and it's like everything come together, because everything that I have seen for Alzheimer's, there's not really a prevention, but everything is going into healthier lifestyles and how you can, it's not prevention of Alzheimer's, because there's not really anything that can prevent dementia or really Alzheimer's disease, but it's more like whatever I do in going to a healthier lifestyle and can helping people get into a healthier lifestyle, it's whatever they're saying now that in years it is what is going to happen. It's just you go into a healthier, anything that you can do to get your life healthier in different areas, emotional, whatever you eat, whatever you do, your self-care, all of that together is what really is going to be reducing inflammation, which Alzheimer's is part of inflammation, and everything in your body has to do. Like, I can recommend to you this book, which I just read it. It's called Cured. It's from a Harvard psychiatrist. It's Dr. Jeffrey Rediger, which I know him in person. And he's in Boston, and he just came out with this book, Cured. And it's about spontaneous healing. So everything that he says here, it's about all the cases. He had been researching a bunch of cases in his life about how people had overcome diseases like cancer and everything, and they're in remission because they have changed their lifestyle. And so everything has to do with this, you know, changing your lifestyle, changing whatever you're doing. You're still on time to change for a healthier version of your life. Like, if you go that way, it's not that you're not gonna die. We're all gonna die for something, you know, from something. But it's just right now, it's better to die from because you're elderly and because of elder age than really, you know, being on excessive alcohol, being addicted to drugs, being addicted to other substance, being addicted to sex, which affects you emotionally, being addicted to food, which affects your whole body and affects you emotionally. So, you know, anything that you can do to better yourself.
So thank you, Julie, for that. Thank you for giving us some of your background and what you do. I concur with Hernan. Thank you for what you do and the way that you do it. I personally know you. I get to know Julie through business. And we ended up saying, you know what, to help with business, and we became friends. We traveled together for many years, and we are close friends. She's like my sister-ish sometimes.
Yeah, he's like my brother.
The sister that lives like, I don't know, in India. I mean, I don't know, in Kuala Lumpur. So we're kind of close, but not that close. But one thing that I can tell you is that we are there for each other when we need to. And
yeah,
that's a great feeling. So she's been with her family in general. We've been all together through tough times together, and we have the blessing and the opportunity to enjoy and celebrate together as well great times. So
yeah, I'm very blessed to have Andres and his wife in our lives because let's see, when my dad passed away, it was 2:00 in the morning. 2:30 in the morning, and that day Andres was in Colombia because he was in a funeral of a really good friend of him, and this happened, and I called his wife. That's the person that I call. I mean, my mom was here, my daughter, but that's the person that I call, and she came at 2:30 in the morning. So
we have each other's backs. So thank you for that, Julie. So Alexandra, I believe that Olu and Julie didn't hear what you're doing right now in Miami. So why don't we go back to you, and we try that you tell us a little bit about yourself again, and then you already hear about what Olu does. Julie knows that, and I know that, and I know that, and then I will finish with what I do, and we'll set some tasks for you.
Tasks, okay. So hi, Julie. I briefly mentioned, so I'm originally Bulgarian. When I was 13, I moved to DC. Then I came to college at UM, which is how I met Hernan, because he's a mentor to 150 different people every year, which I don't know how that happens, but a lot of responsibility. So I am a fourth-year student. I have one more semester because I'm a double major and a double minor, and I have to do a cognate. And what I was telling Andres is I didn't want to do the whole, I'll take all the possible classes in one semester and, my whole life be school. I thought college should be more of a transitionary period. So I wanted to do internships at all times, pretty much. Most of those I did not get paid for. So then finally I started to feel some pressure about that because it was international. And then I started to feel some pressure about that. So I decided, okay, let's see what I can do. You know, I before that I worked with a couple of startups, tech startups in terms of, I guess like business development. One of them was transitioning from, they were opening an office, a French company was opening an office in Miami. And then I did something like 7 or 8 months with a startup called Ikeni, which basically is a project-based boutique, any tech service, I suppose, team of really geeky but intelligent people, which it was really a pleasure to know. But they couldn't pay me. And I decided I have to do that at some point and start taking care of my mom as soon as possible. So in the spring, I mean, I started applying before the spring, but I was really aiming for the airlines. And then in March, obviously that all fell apart very, very quickly. Cue mental breakdown, recoup. And then I reached out to some people. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with AK Psi. Yes, no? So AK Psi is a open to all majors professional organization. So it's like a fraternity, but it's both male and female. As I said, all majors, and we're a group of about 150. So I was the vice president of that, and my job was essentially to create professional development events for the group. With that, I reached out to basically anyone I could get a hold of on LinkedIn. And with that came some people from Northwestern Mutual who were teaching us how to do networking do's and don'ts. So I had connected with them, had a pretty good relationship with them. And then in March, I reached out and I was saying, hey, by the way, all of my applications are crashing and burning. How is your business going? And they said, oh, we're actually doing great. And then I said, oh, that's cool. Are you by chance looking for interns? And they said, yes, but you have 5 days to go through the whole process. So I went through the whole process very quickly. And now I am a financial planner / representative, not certified. But I think at the end of the day, I would like to stick in tech. I also, as a hobby, I relate to a lot of your interests, Julie. I think some of the points that you made are very interesting. And I do think that a very wholesome approach is extremely important to a person's well-being. During this quarantine, so my dad used to be a really unhealthy guy. And when I say really unhealthy, I mean like wanted to eat KFC, smoked a pack a day, didn't exercise, had a belly. When I was little, I thought men could be pregnant because his belly was so round. And then I realized that's not really the case. But then he met this friend of his, and all of a sudden he started getting into yoga, tried to stop smoking. All of a sudden, I don't know what the term is, but it's like certain foods that you can eat together and certain foods that you can't. And all of a sudden he started controlling his life so much, and looking at him, not controlling in like a controlling way, but he paid attention to it. I think that's a better way to put it. And the guy is really happy now. Like, he is honestly soaring above clouds, can't be bothered by anything. And I was saying, wow, why is my father, who has so many more things to worry about, why is he so calm? And I'm a little, is everything gonna be okay? Is the world ending at all times? So this quarantine, I started cooking so that I actually know what's going in my food. I started biking. So the guy can bike something like 60, 70 kilometers in a day, which is a lot. And I said, wow, well, if my old man can do it, then I can too. So me and my not sporty bike, imagine, I don't know if you guys have been to Miami, the only elevation in the city is bridges. So here I am trying so hard to beat my dad, and I can't beat my dad. So I've been focusing on trying to, I guess, practice mindfulness and centering. And I'm trying to, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts about intermittent fasting and fasting in general, because I think it's a good way to distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. I don't know if that makes sense.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know some people from Facebook that I don't know them in person, but I know them on Facebook, that they have done the intermittent fasting with carb cycling.
Mhm.
And I know, I mean, a lot of people have done it to get in the best shape of their lives for a photo shoot or something. And then some other people just have done it to lose weight because you eat, it depends on how your body is, you know, like endomorpho, ectomorpho, it depends on that. But some people go like 12 hours fasting
Mhm.
and then they eat anything they want in like like I think it's a 6 or 8 hour period.
Okay.
It depends. I see. I don't. That's another type of restricting in the body. I just don't go for that. I did the restriction. I follow um this or that at some point in my life. And what I saw is that everything that you just restrict yourself, you're gonna binge at some point. You're gonna end up wanting that. Like right now, the keto, a bunch of people are doing that. You restrict yourself from sugar and everything, and yes, your body passed through the keto flu and everything, and then you really don't want any sugar anymore, which is pretty good, but it doesn't work for everybody. And you have to measure your ketones and everything, you know, your blood, in the ketones in your blood and everything. So I don't really go for anything that restrict your body, really. I go for, if I want to eat something that moment, I'll eat it. But I want to know why am I eating it? If it's because of emotions, is it something that is driving that? Because thoughts are going to drive your emotions and feelings, and that's going to drive your actions, and then you're going to see the results. So whatever is driving you at that moment, and we women, we are driving a lot by hormones. Depending on the cycle at that moment, depending if you're premenopause, if you're menopause, depending if you had a stress day, depending if you had on that moment, you know, you have to pay attention and be aware. Whatever you're telling about your dad, that he became like he saw or something, is that he became aware of something. He became aware. So when you become aware, you start paying attention. So I'm not have anything against intermittent fasting. Like if somebody wants to try it and it works for you, then go ahead and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, so I'm asking not so much from a weight loss perspective, but for example, a friend of mine said he fasted for 7 days last summer, which I think is extreme. But what he is saying in terms of focus and cell regeneration, and if you Google it, there's so many things. And he's saying, you know, the first day is tough. You're like, okay, I can't eat. I really want to eat. Second day is absolutely horrible. And then on the third day, you get this kind of like super clear headed. And he was saying, if you're ever faced with like a really difficult decision, especially like coming out of college, and maybe this is a bit of a too easy solution for everything, you know, like an easy way out. But he's saying if you fast and then you are not influenced by all the things you're putting in your body. So I want to know about your thoughts on that.
Alexandra and Julie, I'm sorry for being the party pooper, and please don't kill me. I know that this is really important topic, but I think that we have another person and that we can revisit this topic about the fasting and all these things. But we have a Comlan, he is from Nigeria, like Olu. And we just, according to Hernan, the apprentice group has started a new team over there. And we just want to welcome Comlan. Thank you so much for joining us today, Comlan. We know that it's late over there in Nigeria, but we are glad that you're making the time to join us today. So if you like, please go ahead and introduce yourself really quick, and we'll continue doing this, okay?
Where?
Comlan?
Maybe he doesn't have the microphone like I didn't have it at the beginning.
No, he does maybe communications or something. Comlan once and twice. Komlan, can you hear us? I know that he's connected. I know that he's been trying. But maybe Olu, maybe you can say something about Komlan. I believe that you know him already. So why you don't tell us a little bit about him? Your mic.
Mike. Yeah, I spoke with him yesterday. I was quite impressed with him. I'll confess, because he's got a warm personality and he's quite focused. He had planned to come to the US. He was scheduled to come in this year to start his master's degree, you know, here in the United States, which, I mean, that's quite a process. We know what the process is like here. So you can imagine for international students what that process is like, you know. And he's been focused about it, and I encouraged him, you know, to just keep the focus and really look forward to meeting him. He's actually, you know, something, we had a very funny conversation yesterday. You know, here in the United States, if you ask someone, where are you from? The person is going to tell you where they were born, right? On the African continent, it's different. When you're asked where are you from, they're asking about your genealogy. Okay, so even though Komlan was born in Nigeria, right? If a Nigerian asks, where are you from? He would naturally respond, he's from a neighboring country, Benin Republic, right? Republic de Benin, which is Francophone. Yeah, so that was funny. And I told him yesterday, oh, please, you are Nigerian. You know, according to our, I mean, you lived there, you were raised there. Come on. I mean, you spent all your life in Nigeria. You were born there. You spent all your life in Nigeria. That's all you know. Of course, you are Nigerian. But, you know, yesterday we just had that moment, you know, comparing how that question is answered on the continent and here in North America, and actually in Europe as well. And I actually told him that in Asia has a similar culture as well. When they ask you where are you from, they're asking about your genealogy. They're not asking about where you were born, they're asking about your genealogy. So even if you've lived in China for quite a long time, if your genealogy is Japanese, they still call you Japanese. But but the influence of the Western way of doing things, how we do it here in the US and in Europe, is spreading, and you can begin to see it, you know, show in different places in the world. But that is an interesting conversation you should expect from anyone who wasn't born here or whose culture is so different. But I'll say that Komlan, I'm glad he's here with us. I mean, his focus is amazing. His personality is amazing. You know, right now it's actually midnight in Lagos, in Southwest Nigeria. It's almost 1 a.m. and he's joining us. So I really appreciate the sacrifice he's taken to reach out across the pond, okay, as we say, and connect with people, you know, outside his comfort zone, outside his culture, outside what he knows, outside of what he knows. And very interesting to meet him.
I think he's connecting.
So I messaged him to check the input and output.
Yeah, he's typing. Of course, the internet there is it's not that good.
Yeah. The internet connectivity is different. The infrastructure there is different from what we have here. So, yeah, he may be experiencing that. Hi, Komlan. Just wave if you can see us. Okay, you could see us. All right, that's
And then
good.
you have to send him the recording then.
So we're recording this, so he'll be able to see it later as well. Come on, just go like this. Go like this.
Hey, okay. I think his camera goes on and off. But that's Komlan, yeah. Good, really good to meet him, and I mean that not exaggerating it. I mean it.
Well, our dream of expanding our network beyond to Africa is really what talks a lot about what we're trying to do here, which is bridging different countries, bridging different and learning from each other. And I learned so much from Olu. She's one of my best friends. I love her to death. And we're doing this together. So I appreciate that. And talking about doing things together, we have Christian from who's here in Miami as well.
Hey, Christian, how are you? Okay, I guess you can hear us. Christian, wave if you can hear us. If you like, unmute yourself and say
what did you tell the team from Dallas what you're doing?
I'm sorry, say again, Hernan?
I didn't realize I was muted. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell them what you're doing, Christian.
Okay, so well, before we move forward, and sadly I have to leave very soon because I have another engagement at 6:15. But at the end of the day, we have become to be who we are because we have three main things in common. We are disciplined, we are totally honest and transparent, and more importantly, we relate relationships. The power of our relationships in general is unbelievable. In life, you can go through just looking the others over your shoulders. We as an immigrants, we know how difficult it can be sometimes because you are Latino or you are from Middle East or you're from Africa or you're from East Europe. Oh, you are there and I'm here. In this country, we know that if you are very well prepared and educated, you have an opportunity to achieve whatever you want to do. But more importantly, you have to treat every single person that comes across to you with respect, because you never know who's the person. And just to tell you that, I came here back in 2001 under political asylum. I used to work for one of the largest pension funds in Colombia, and I used to be the national director of special projects. And I was just a graduated guy with huge opportunities, and the world was this small for me because I was ready to eat it. And one day, everything changes overnight, and I ended up escorted by former military friends. I used to be in the army in Colombia many years ago, and they said, hey, you gotta leave because you have, there's a target in your head. So I ended up here in Miami, living in the streets, eating garbage in McDonald's. I'm not lying to anyone. And just with my faith and the desire to make it through. And little by little, the process was not easy at all. The process was very challenging. And Julie knows this because she was in my house in Colombia years later with my family and everything. So a lot of people come over, some people travel, some people migrate, and they said, I was this, I was that. Well, in my case, sadly, I had to leave everything behind. But I didn't get myself hanging on what I had. I just keep fighting for what I can achieve. And this country at all will offer opportunities for every single person. Even though we have a lot of problems right now, even though we're going through a lot of changes on the society, this country always will give you the opportunity to achieve and excel if you want to make the effort to get there. So, and that's a message that I have especially for the youngest here in the group. Do not underestimate the effort. Yes, society has changed us at all of us. And we see people making money because they have followers. Or we see people making money because they just have a beautiful body and that they just represent certain brands. Hard work always pays. You can find a lot of shortcuts throughout the road, but will never ever excel in life because you're gonna get just that far. Hardworking people, doing the right thing always. Temptations are left and right all the time. And going back to what I used to do in Colombia, I'm an accountant. I went to a business school down there, and I got a CPA designation and everything, and life was great. So I came here, and I was able to just, number one, resolve my papers situation. and then I start to work on hospitality. So I work on hotels related to travel, so I love the industry in general. And then little by little, I was picking up the language, I was learning the English, I started to get my licenses again. I'm a fully licensed person. Alexandra, I do investments or retirement consultation. I have that in background as well. But I've been on the finance side of things, financial management type of things. So what I do through a banking products today, I just offer solutions to business owners and individuals to help them to manage their money, either be more efficient collecting on all these things. But my core, what runs through my veins, my blood is investments and retirement consultation. We do insurance, we do financial planning, we do a lot of income protection, wealth transfer, whatever terminology you'll be hearing through the company Northwestern Mutual, that's what I do. And I have access to, plenty of companies out there. I don't have a proprietary products because I don't believe on getting married with one specific product will help you to get there. You gotta be as a resource for your clients. And that's what I do. That's what I do. I walk dogs, I paint fences, I wash cars, whatever is need to be done, I do it. But I feel that I'm fulfilling my personal goal in life, which is helping others through what I do. Some people believe when I'm talking to them about what I do and how to do it. Some others says no. When people hit the wall, they come back, and some people move on. So you know what? I want to live in peace. I want to sleep well. And the only way to do that is doing the right thing all the time and not even looking over your shoulders because you have done something wrong. So that's what I do, and that's the advice that I have for the youngest. Prepare yourself. Don't get complacent with yourself, thinking, oh, I already know this. Or no. Hustle, work, play hard too. I mean, work hard, pay yourself, travel, explore, eat something different, do whatever you want to do. Try to live, because some people get just focused on one thing. I had a colleague, I went to Wharton. I finished a program in Wharton a couple years ago. I did a banking management program there in Philly. And I met this beautiful Oriental lady, and that she's been focusing good grades and trying to make it through. Well, it's been 7 years in the making. And because of this situation, she has to go back to China. And she didn't have an opportunity to enjoy it. Yeah, she made some money, but she didn't have an opportunity to enjoy absolutely anything. So if you have, Alexandra, the opportunity to go to New York because that's on your bucket list, do it now. You're young. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to share a fear with you, because you're saying don't get complacent. Okay, I'm 100% not complacent. Constantly have to be doing something and learning something. However, in terms of opportunity cost, I'm afraid to focus. And that's why the 2 majors and 2 minors. And maybe you guys can share your stories of how you ended up where you are. Because what if, let's say, I became the best. I met at an airport, I met a woman who was a chemist for Boeing, and her job was literally to make the paint of the airplane so that it doesn't it's a crazy thing, and she gets a lot of money for it. But okay, and let's say the airline industry crashes and burns, and then, there's certain things that you can't control, and if you're so focused, you spend 20 years in one role, and then what?
So that, I understand your concern. And that's something really valid. But also, it's important to understand that every single penny that you make, don't spend it. You gotta put some money on the rainy side. You gotta put some money on the side for an emergency or for those oops things in life. This society, I don't even know how old are you or Christian, but what I'm seeing today with younger people, especially people finishing maybe a couple programs, is that there's no exposure directly to the work environment, because maybe the families have been having the opportunity to support the economy, and maybe you don't have the need to work. I don't know if that's not the case, but for the vast majority of people that needs to work, try to put some money on the side. Be smart about it. Be diligent about it, because you're right. I mean, I'm on the position, well, not even me. Let's go back to Hernan. Hernan was in a position that was extremely high at financial industry, and one day everything stops. Well, going back to this, the connections that you make in life will help you through tough times. But also you have to have some money in place. And if you're making $20 a day, well, don't spend 25. That's the best advice that I can give you. And if you have a knowledge, you can invest. I invested about 15 years working in a pension fund and doing absolutely everything. And one day everything changes like that. I didn't let that to turn me down. Basically, it was a motivation for me to come back and succeed and replicate what I did, because the more that you do something, the more expert that you became to, and then you build up a good value to yourself. You will have a good equity value in you, and you gotta determine if this is the path that you want to follow in life. Going back to Julie, I can say, because I know her really well. Julie had spent years going to medical school, but her passion today is helping people to overcome these kind of addictions that they had, and she's not treating the symptom. She's treating the root cause of the problem, and that's making her happy. So you gotta do something that at the end of the day makes you happy, and you gotta be always embrace for something like that, because you're gonna hit a wall no matter what. You can have the dream job tomorrow, and there's gonna be always someone's gonna be hating you, and there's gonna be your life miserable. Guess what? Brush it off.
I wanted to share something real quick. So what happens to Alex? And Alex, you know, you're kind of like I connected immediately with you because you're kind of like my daughter, right? The reality is that you are a multi-talented person, right? And you're going to go through life, and you're going to experiment many things, right? You don't have to put yourself in a box. And yes, we have to have a theme, and the theme that you have is for people to hire you. So let's say if you have a theme around finance, right? If you want to be in the financial field, then you create that theme so that people can hire you. But the reality is, I do many things, right? I sing, I do marketing, I do apprentice, I'm a banker, right? So I don't let anybody box me into something. I just, take the opportunity to experience, what I love in a certain area and enjoy it to the max. So I didn't like finance or banking. I just ended up in finance and banking because I like international trade and logistics, right? But if you would have talked to me about financial planning and all that stuff, that's what Andres might be passionate about, or other people might be passionate. I don't like that. I don't like dealing with individual people's money. I just don't like it, because that is, to me, that goes into the core of the people, and then you're having conversations that are very, very rooted to your heart. And you know what? I want to deal with professionals that, it's somebody else's business and they just need to make a decision, and that's my side. Again, everybody has their own thing. As far as what we do, what I learned in life is you surround yourself with good people that are giving you this type of feedback, right? That know you and can tell you, you know what? Yeah, you want to be a ballerina dancer, Hernan, but you know what? I don't think this is the right thing for you, right? Because you might want to consider it. And who knows? Maybe they don't know what's in my heart. Maybe I want to talk to Julie, and she's going to put me in shape and I become the best ballerina. The reality is that it's harder for me to do it. Therefore, I'm going to use my skills, what I have, which is, meeting people, networking, talking about global logistics. And I use that, in that moment to make money. But again, if I wanted to dance and be a ballerina and not make any money, I'm going to do it, right? Not that I'm going to do that, but right? But the reality is, so what I do. What do I do? You know, I want to make, I want to help as many people as I can, right? With whatever it is that I'm doing, that I'm blessed of doing. And the rest of the time, I want to hang out with my friends, right? And spend quality time with people in Dallas. And go to the Dallas Cowboy Stadium and have a beer, right? And enjoy that moment and not worry about what's going to happen because I'm going to be taken care of. I'm a man of faith, and I know God has a plan for me. And, you know, when I had no money and I was kicked out of the best job that I thought I had, right, making, you know, a lot of money, you know, it was because I was selfish. I wanted to do things for me. And then I realized that I should have focused more on helping other people. And by helping other people, people help me. So, you know, with no interest, if I had an interest in taking people's money and focus on that, then I would have ended up in a different place. But I don't. I worry about helping people, and then somehow I don't know how, but I have not been without money. You know, I kept my house, and now I'm back in I had before, and I'm having fun, and I'm with you guys, right? So at the end of the day, I wouldn't worry so much about what's gonna happen tomorrow. I worry about what I'm doing today to be with the right people and doing the right things to get me to the next level. And if it doesn't happen, it's okay. You know, I'll survive. Uh, Olu, what do you think about that? Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Of course. I remember I live here in Dallas. It took Hernan flying in from Miami to get me to visit Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
So guys, I have to leave. I'm so sorry about that, but
That's
I have a
funny.
meeting at 6:15. I'm late to that one, but it's
Okay.
a pleasure seeing
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
A pleasure.
De-
See you, Christian.
Thanks,
Después te llamo,
Andres.
después te llamo.
See you.
Alexandra, we'll talk later, okay? Julie, te veo luego. Olu,
Hey,
I'm
good
watching
to
you.
see you.
Bye, guys. Ciao, Hernan.
All right, yeah.
Ciao, brother.
Bye.
So we, Julie, how's your daughter?
She's doing fine. I mean, she doesn't have any symptoms, but you mean from the COVID test?
Well, I know she went through her first year of college, right? So,
Oh, right. Yeah, she's in Baylor University here in Texas, and she's on the pre-med track, biology pre-med track, because she wants to study medicine like mom and dad, whatever. She wants it since a long time ago. And she survived the first year. She's now advancing in some classes now in the summer that they are offering online from the same university. And hopefully she's going to start now next month. On the 24th, they start. They open the campus, but they're going to have a combination of online, face-to-face, and hybrid. And she's going to live in her first apartment next to the school. So we're going to see how that goes. What about yours, Hernan? Is her campus is going to open where is it, North Carolina?
yeah, so they're going to open. And nothing, I'm going to go there on the 17th. On the 18th, her birthday is the 17th. She wants to spend it with her friends here. And then I'm driving up north and hanging out and going to Atlanta. I'm actually meeting the group, our team in Atlanta, and then we're going to Winston-Salem. And then I'm driving back down through Charlotte. I'm meeting with the people in Charlotte, and then coming down back to Miami. So that should be a fun week. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
And they're opening the campus like a combination of classes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be hybrid. You know, she's gonna go to some classes, some online.
Right.
It's fine, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is that those things are expensive, but you know what? Somebody sent me out a text about and I don't know if you saw it in the mentor group. Somebody sent out a like a picture about YouTube $50, Showtime $100, whatever $50, and Harvard $50,000. And I wrote to them, good luck in getting a job with a degree from YouTube. The reality is, we have to be, not everybody has the opportunity to be at a good school. So you know what? I told her, you have a blessing, take advantage of it, and it's going to be easier for you. For some people, they got to struggle, but she's going to have a degree from a good school. I'm giving her that chance. And from there on, whatever she makes with her life, it's up to her, I'm not that concerned as a dad, I guess. I train her well. Like Alex was trained well by her dad. By the way, how's dad, Alex?
He's good. He just got a corona test. It's negative. He and his wife spent a month in Greece because Bulgaria right now is terrible with protests because they're basically asking the EU for money, but they're also making the people, obviously for corona, but they're also making the people pay. And then the president made a speech and he called for the prime minister to release all the numbers and make them public. And then the prime minister was like, haha, no, how dare you insult me? And now the entire country is protesting. So my dad wants to leave again. And I'm just trying to keep him to sit. But yeah, he's good.
Well, listen, tell him I say hi. We need to start a networking group in Bulgaria.
Yes, I spoke to him. I told you. So when I was in high school, I interned with one of his offices. And the woman who trained me is a very sweet woman. I mentioned her to you before, and I want her to join. And I talked to my dad and asked him if it's okay to introduce his partners and employees also. So yes, we should talk about that. Because I think a lot of people in my country would benefit very much from having an opportunity to connect.
Yeah, so we are now. We're in Puerto Rico. We're in Miami. We're in Dallas. Where do we go next? The sky's the limit. This is the fun part about what we do is, helping as many people as we can around the world and learning. So one of the things that I loved about my job was meeting people all over the world, and the Bank of America gave me that opportunity, and because of that, 20 years traveling around the world, I was able to meet a bunch of mentors, which are now in our program. And, they're helping people out. So you see, it's not all about business, right? It has to do with the right people, relationships with the right people. And eventually, things will work out, right? Julie started doing something and ended up doing something else. And now she's helping the lives of many people, right? Olu started in Orlando and now she's in Dallas in one of the largest companies in the US. So it's just, that's how life is, And Christian is starting at FIU, but who knows? He's gonna end up in Google or wherever. We're still working on it. But Christian, you haven't spoken at all. What's going on, brother? What do you do? What do you do for us?
I was a one-liner kind of person, so I know Andres had to leave, so he kind of gave him the floor.
Where did we meet, Christian?
I'm sorry?
Where did we meet? We've met before, and if you question that, we're on LinkedIn. We have LinkedIn. Do you remember when we...
Well, he's your AK side brother, first and foremost.
Yes, but not a UM.
No.
Doesn't matter, right? We don't we don't care. We don't care.
No, I saw the t-shirt, but I think we met one time. Maybe at that Lolita place. No?
Well, he's in the e-board. Maybe you guys met at the, I don't know if you went to the regional conference.
Yes, in Atlanta.
But yeah, could be.
Yeah, We'll figure it out.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
you know,
We'll get together.
like Hernan was saying, I have to add something. Sometimes somebody does something and they're really good also at something else. Like I have the brother of a friend of mine in Puerto Rico. I think he's an electrical engineer, and he works for it's a pharmaceutical company there. I don't remember which one is it. It's one in the interior of the island, and he's really good at that. He has an engineer job, but he wanted to try the real estate agent thing, and he's so good at that at some point he plans to just leave the engineering thing because he's really good as a real estate agent. He's really good with people. He didn't know that he was going to be so good in that. He just did his full cash and everything, you know. So, you know, sometimes you are doing something, but you don't know that you can be also very good at something else. You know what I'm saying? Like Hernan was saying.
Yeah, and by the way, so the other thing that I learned is it's funny because we're trying to all be online, right, and do all these things virtually. And you started a business online and virtually, 3-4 years before. No? So you want to share a little bit about what you do with the, with the fitness? Because I know you spoke a little bit about it, but you're still training doctors, no?
Oh, yeah, but right now, I haven't done really a lot of coaching right now. I'm more into the writing right now, but I think I'm gonna reroute and do more on the mental wellness part. Probably focusing on physicians, but not exactly on physicians, but probably in healthcare, because right now there's a lot with the pandemic. There's a lot of burning out in the healthcare part, nurses and physicians. So I think I'm gonna reroute myself in that, not on the weight loss so much, but more on the mental health. And since I'm also certifying addictions as a coach in addictions, as also an interventionist, so I really like not exactly marketed like addictions, because some people, they don't think they're addicted, but they are. But they don't want you to say that they're addicted because they don't think they are. And it's like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not. So especially in the healthcare setting, the physicians, they have very big egos. And I know because I study medicine and I was married to one too, and I have friends too. So you can't market like addictions. It's better to just kind of blurry there. On the mental wellness is more acceptable, and it has to do with several things, your mental wellness. So so I think I'm gonna reroute myself into that. But yeah, it's online. I have done online coaching through Zoom or FaceTime, or before it was Skype. But I always also love to write. So that's how I get some clients, is through the writing part. Like they would email me when they see an article of mine. Because I have done articles for 2 Puerto Rico magazines. Currently, I'm doing in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. It's a print magazine. It's called Salud al Día. It's Miami-Dade, Broward County, and some other, Fort Lauderdale, something like that. And then here in Texas, it's Oklahoma and it's Oklahoma and Texas. And the other ones, like Behavioral Health News, is more like nationwide. So, that's how some people have find me, is through that. And I'm going to start doing videos again. I have been kind of behind on that because I still receive messages in YouTube and comments like, hey, why aren't you doing more videos? But I don't want to do exercise videos only. I want to do more on the wellness part, you know, talk about some topics and stuff, not just fitness. And I like that. So let's see what happens.
Well, I told you, so for the expo, I want you to speak about this. Okay, so remind me so we can add you to the calendar.
Yeah, well, you have to tell me really what is it that you want me to talk about. Mental wellness, I mean, that's pretty, that includes exercise, the eating, and, you know, kind of the lifestyle. Or maybe we can talk about lifestyle intervention. What is it? What is that about? That's it.
Yeah, so you're the expert. You're whatever you think is hot, important, that everybody should know about. We'll put that in the session.
Yeah, I think thinking about something that will go with the environment right now, like my last article that just published, it's about how to stay active while you are working remotely. How to stay like sane and active while you're working remotely. So that one I did it in Spanish, and it's going to be published in English too. So, but you know, I mean, it goes with the situation that we're having, that everybody's like working, most of everybody's working remotely. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, Olu, before I leave, so I wanted to tell you, so the expo's gonna be, let me move from here because there's a lot of noise. So the expo's gonna be the week of September.
Okay.
And the way that it's gonna work this year is we're going to the mentors have the opportunity to share what they want, but they're gonna do it together. So together means we're gonna do like a little team, and then we're gonna come up with a topic that everybody likes, and we're gonna present it in the expo. There's so many people around the world that are joining that we want to take advantage and have also the associates participate and present. So Alex, for example, you and I got to talk, because whatever it is that you want to do in the next phase, right? That's what we're going to present, right? And so there's two things. For Dallas, we need to get associates, right? That's our next goal. We got somebody from Nigeria, and we got to get people in a few college students or a few young professionals in Dallas. So if you know anybody in your organizations, or that you know, I know your daughter is too little yet, Julie, but Olu, if you have anybody in Dallas, bring him on, okay? The more the merrier, you know?
The merrier,
that we want people to have fun. And Christy and Alex, anything else?
My best friend is Nigerian, and she has 2 brothers. I would love to ask them if they'd be interested. They own a club, though.
It's all good.
Yeah, so I don't know. That might be something.
I like it.
Hernan, do we have all our topics?
Do we have a what? I'm sorry?
All our topics. Do we have all our topics defined at the moment?
We'll do by Friday. Yeah.
Okay. If you want me to chip in, I can chip in.
Absolutely. So
okay.
The sky's the limit. Whatever.
I'm already doing the graphics for my book. I finished the writing.
Oh.
So I'm doing the graphics right now. With this COVID procrastination, what I've constantly heard from a lot of people is they've just been procrastinating because the days blur, you know, blur so quick, so easily, and you just sleep and wake up, sleep and wake up, sleep and wake up, and because you're not going outside, a lot of people have confessed that they've lost flow that they had. You know, when they had to go to work and they realized, oh my goodness, the week is almost ending and deadlines are coming up. So procrastination has actually gotten worse from observation with a lot of people. And my book is titled overcoming inertia, defying inertia. You know, inertia is that state of just being and not moving. So defying inertia, the journey from procrastination to fulfillment. And one of the things, I like what Julie said, because one of the things I talked about in that book was the ultimate goal is fulfillment, not just about money, not just about status, but fulfillment. And you know, taking the reader through how do you define what your purpose is, how do you define what success is, and you want to get to that point of fulfillment. So with fulfillment being the ultimate goal, how do you get yourself up from your bed or from just living unconsciously to getting to that point of fulfillment? And I mean, Hernan, you know my story, you know quite a bit about my story and the things I went through when I first got to the US and getting out of that mental state of depression, then losing both my parents, burying them 4 days apart and all that to get to where I am today. So, and where I'm still going. So yeah, if you want me to take a chapter or just do a synopsis, a little training on that, you know, just take some snips from my book and share that, yeah, I'll be glad to share that with us.
That's interesting.
Well, listen, again, I am just so blessed to have you guys in my life, and you guys have so much to offer people that, you know, whatever you have in your heart that you want to share, we'll do it, right? We'll set some time and do it. There's so many, so we are lucky to have Alex and Christian here, but there's other people that will listen to this. By the way, this is being recorded. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
This is recorded.
Oh.
So, you know, I'll share this with you later on. But the whole point is, you know, at the end of the day, what I wanted to tell people is, you know, we have friends in Dallas and in Texas in general, but we have you three in Dallas, and you know how much I appreciate your friendship more than anything, right? More than apprentice, more than anything, I appreciate your friendship. Julie, I know Julie for the longest, and you know, she's like my sister. I love her to death. She, you know, she and I have been through a lot together, many friends in common, and she brought me all these people. So, you know, again, thank you for sharing our lives together and helping other people. You know, it's the icing on the cake. So thank you again. I don't know, Alex, Christian, anything else?
I just want to share it. Like, I think a good topic during these days, what Andres brought, something about relationships, not relationship like romantic relationship, all relationships. Like, I'm gonna send you an article from a law firm that is it have been in a bunch of places. The article is how to be relational. What does relational mean? Like, people really don't know. It's not about romantic relationship. It's about relate to everybody that you know, everybody. So this is a good article. because that's a topic these days. Since people are remote, a lot of times they feel like they're not connecting, and they are a lot of ways to connect. Even, being relational, it's very important. So I'm going to send you this article just for you to examine and see if that's a topic that maybe somebody can.
Yeah, put it there in our global mentoring group. That'd be nice. And one of the things that we also have to talk about is, and we have addressed it very few, but we have a women's leader group, and Olu knows. I'm gonna add you, Judy, because that's being moderated by another person. But one of the things that I want to, and I know it's something that happens to you, that you get hit on a lot by guys, right? That are always have a second agenda, right? And we've spoken about that. And how do you handle that as a woman and as a professional? That is good at give, particularly the younger generations. So that's important. I would appreciate if you can share that with the younger generation, because they don't know how to handle advances from men, particularly powerful men that are, doctors and lawyers and big top executives. they all of a sudden get in a relationship because they're at work and they don't know how to deal with that. So I would appreciate if we can share in the future as well. Well, again, that's important. I know that we've spoken about that and how to deal with that, right? Because I know you're an expert, right? And you don't do karate. You don't kick them in the butt. But you deal with that very professionally, and so I appreciate if you can share that advice with other women. So thank you. Okay, guys, listen. Again, I appreciate you coming. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Texas. Alex, thanks for joining. Christian, good job. We got a lot to do.
Alex and Christian.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Alex. Good to meet you. Chris. Hi, Julie.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Christian. Nice to meet you. And Comlan, thanks for joining us in the middle of the night. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.